11 huge Neighbours spoilers for next week. What's next on Ramsay Street? 1. Toadie becomes concerned over Nell and JJ. JJ starts work at the vineyard, but is unenthusiastic over the dull tasks that Leo sets for him. Nell joins JJ at the vineyard and the teens get up to some mischief together. When Toadie finds out, he's annoyed that Nell seems to keep making poor choices whenever JJ is around. 2. A mystery poisoner strikes. While JJ and Nell are distracted at the vineyard, a masked figure turns up with malicious intentions. The unknown person injects a mysterious substance into one of the bottles of wine that JJ is supposed to be looking after. This poses a threat to the imminent Eirini Rising launch, as Leo is supplying wine for the event. 3. Byron opens up to Victor. Byron's family are shocked following his heated outburst towards Victor. When Jane offers to mediate between the pair, Byron agrees to speak to his father and finally shows some support over his terminal illness. Victor shares his plans to secure a financial legacy for Byron and Nicolette. Jane is impressed by how much her ex-husband has changed, leaving her feeling wistful over what could have been between them. 4. Victor, Byron and Nicolette spend quality time together. Victor wants to make the most of the time he has left, so he teams up with Nicolette and Byron for a game of mini-golf that he'd promised them long ago. Byron and Nicolette also agree to think seriously about a new business opportunity that Victor has offered to them. 5. Victor goes too far again. Victor gets carried away after his fun family day, as he starts meddling in Byron and Nicolette's personal lives again. First up, Victor discovers that Nicolette has spent the night with Amira. He quickly interferes by encouraging Amira to become more serious with Nicolette. Victor also speaks to Byron about Sadie. After hearing Byron talk about the long-term future, he shocks Wendy by revealing that Byron can see himself marrying Sadie and starting a family. Byron and Nicolette are left appalled by Victor's tactless approach and they warn him to back off. 6. Hillary returns. Therese is surprised to learn that Hillary Robinson has bought one of the last remaining apartments at Eirini Rising. Therese wastes no time before confronting Paul, accusing him of another scheme to remain relevant in her life. Later, Paul departs for New York following the sad news of Rosemary's death. 7. Harold returns. Harold returns to Erinsborough to move into Eirini Rising. When the grand opening ceremony gets going, Harold becomes overwhelmed by emotion and he shares how being back in Erinsborough is reminding him of his late wife Madge. Meanwhile, the threat of the poisoned wine looms large. Who will drink from the tainted bottle? 8. Carl is blackmailed over the poo scandal. Aaron's undercover work in the Young and Hot Males in Lycra group pays off when he discovers that the public pooper is Jacob. Sadly for Carl, everything changes when Jacob is revealed to be the grandson of wealthy Shirley Birchmore. Shirley warns Susan and Therese that she and her friends will pull out of their planned purchases at Eirini Rising if Carl exposes who the pooper really is. 9. Susan quits Eirini Rising. Susan and Therese find themselves divided again as they can't agree on how to handle the fallout. Susan reaches breaking point over the difficult situation. After a heart-to-heart with Harold, she realizes that she isn't happy in her new job and doesn't want to wreck her friendship with Therese, so she tells Therese to start searching for a replacement. 10. Therese and Susan try to work things out. They realize that they both take very different approaches to their work and have never set aside the time to properly address this. This leads to an 11th-hour reconciliation between Therese and Susan, with both agreeing to compromise and start working together more harmoniously. Can they make it work after all? 11. Haas's homecoming leads to tensions. Haas is discharged from the hospital. Mackenzie prepares a happy homecoming, but is annoyed when Amira takes over. Mackenzie admits to her friends that she's unsure of how to navigate her fragile reunion with Haas while Amira is always around. Can she secure some time alone with Haas without offending Amira?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của Home and Away, spoiler today. Xin chào.